Wait for that. Ah, there we go.
Okay, yeah, it's really delayed. It's quite crazy. The other thing is, I'll be sharing Etienne's slides, so I don't know, can anybody admit other guests while we're busy with the finances?
Yeah,
Sorry to ask that.
I can also do that. No problem.
Great.
I've got two screens, so all good.
Okay, fabulous.
Perfect. Okay, so that brings us to the welcome. So just welcome everybody to the annual general meeting of Coschem for 2024, where we'll be going over what happened in 2023. And like Bridget said, you know, you always think that time goes past quite quickly, but looking back, there's actually a lot that happened. And so I might talk quite quickly when I get to my presentation just to get through everything. So welcome everybody. I'm not going to read apologies. The apologies will be mentioned in the minutes afterwards. Otherwise, we'll be just reading apologies for 4.5 an hour. With regards to the declaration of interest, I think there's a copy in the invitation. Most of you, I think, knows what it's all about. It's just to say that when we're joining here tonight, we are just discussing Coschem matters, and we're not doing anything out of our own interest or business interest. So really just for the interest of the society. So just to keep that in mind. We got a lot more people joining. Wonderful, 54. Okay, so we just want to do a confirmation of the minutes of the previous AGM. Is there anybody that attended the AGM that read the minutes that can just confirm for us? You can just unmute yourself and say your name.
I'll do a Jacques, Yorinda.
Thank you, Yorinda. And if I can get a second. Might have to come from the council. Who's that?
Killian.
Was it Colleen?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, Colleen, we've got you as a second there. Have you got that, Bridget?
I have, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Etienne because Etienne has to leave early. So we just want him to run through the finances for us. Is Etienne online already?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Perfect.
I'll share the screen now, Etienne. Sorry, bear with me. I'm multitasking. Yeah, it's not so good.
Right.
So is it sharing that side?
Yes.
Yep. Just put it to your presentation. There we go. Right. So as usual, we have the annual financial statements that go through a bit of a process of review. So there's some nice little graphs that show comparables. There are a number of notes, but what I'm going to do is maybe just talk through a few of these things. So first and foremost to note is that we obviously have continued revenues, or what's called revenues and sales, but it's year on year, you can actually see there's a trend between the costs, the marketing, the admin costs, other expenses, all these things kind of have a correlation to it. We can go to the next slide. With property, there hasn't been much shift. Maybe just for me to talk to property for a moment, because our property, you shouldn't really see much unless you've done additional investments. One of the reasons for that is that we record on the historic cost basis. And because this is not like, for instance, a public company where we are required to revalue property, we don't revalue. So it's at this point still thought to be appropriate for us to use the historic cost basis for recording that. Because bear in mind, there's always a cost of revaluing property, and there's not much value because you're not looking for external shareholders to invest to this. So in terms of use, there's not much value for us to incur the cost of revaluing in a case like this. We can go to the next slide. Our listed investments, I mean, slight variations from year to year. Obviously, these things are going to be slightly different on each year, because in terms of your investments, remember, these are both your listed and unlisted is based on market, and the other is based on interest earnings. So what we have noticed is that your investment income has increased. So we are showing a better performance. Some of that could be accounted for based on the increase in the interest rate. Go to the next slide. So on your unlisted investment is also an increase. Now, this is essentially a similar to that of a unit trust. And again, that is managed by the portfolio managers, which this is invested with. And there's been greater growth. Part of that is because the underlying investment that you have is partly into properties and the other into interest and money markets, which also then gave you a better result. And I guess it's a testament as well to that where you're investing at the moment is yielding the best result you could hope for in the current climate, because you're seeing growth that is essentially keeping up with above inflation. Next slide, please. So your revenue and expenses, you can see your revenue is slightly up. I mean, obviously, with the increase in revenue, so part of that is there is a increase in your membership numbers, as well as in terms of the courses. So I think your subscription income has increased by about 90,000 over the previous year, and which is about a 13% increase. Your overall net revenue increased by about 20% year on year. So although the membership base has also gone into it, remember that you've also got advertising income that is in there. And we'll talk to expenses, but a little bit. And maybe this is the point for me to just mention it. So in terms of expenses, I mean, there's a number of things to kind of note. Things such as the photocopier. You're renting a smaller photocopier that reduces your monthly cost. The amount of copies being done is significantly reduced. What we also have is less photocopies are done for courses, because you're no longer printing the course material, but you're loading it to the website in a digital format, which obviously saves quite significantly. So, I mean, there's a number of these little things that have actually seen you moderate your expenditure and avoided unnecessary increases in expenditure. We can go to the next slide. So changes in equity, this is essentially because of your surplus. Now, year on year, we have surpluses, and this year is no different. We have seen a surplus, bearing in mind that surplus when you're dealing with a non-profit environment, you obviously, because we're not talking about profits, we're not aiming to make a profit, but surpluses have two fundamental things. One, it means that the revenues that have come in are greater than the revenues or the costs that have gone out, which is good. It points to a level of short-term sustainability, but ultimately, these surpluses are intended and allocated towards your IFSCC 2029 Congress. Now, bear in mind that you will need significant funds for that. So these surpluses obviously go towards it. So it's not just you're hoarding value. There is an actual purpose for these surpluses beyond just sustainability. It's also to fund the IFSCC 2029 Congress. We can go to the next slide. So there's a few notes. There's accumulated surplus that's increased. So remember, year on year, you have a surplus. So the surplus of the current year is just that period, but there's an accumulation year on year. So that has increased by 11%. We've seen the revenue increases compared to prior year, bearing in mind that some of that is the increase in membership fees as well as courses. And there has been an increase in subscriptions. There's the advertising revenues that also come into it. You have an increase in your investment income that have also contributed to it. And let's not forget that effectively your expenses have been greatly moderated over this period. And I think Bridget and the rest do a great job at keeping these expenses at a bay. And I mean, if you look at expenses like the employment cost, and maybe just to mention that, it's only increased by 4.7%. So essentially, even there, it's below an inflationary value that's increased by. The only thing that when you start looking at it, there's certain things that are outside of your control, such as rates that have increased by 12.9%. But maybe these things are not really within your control to control those expenses. And as I mentioned, the property is based on market, not on the current market value, but the historic cost value. That's why it's fixed at the price of what's spent plus improvements. In future years, if there's purpose, we might look to revalue, but at this point, there's no value to incur or purpose to incur the cost to revaluing, considering you have no external shareholders to invest to this. Next slide, please. So there's just a little bit of a breakdown looking at your different accounts. So you've got your net bank call account. You can see year on year the values there, as well as your current account. Bearing in mind your current account, you never really want large amounts of cash to it, because obviously that's not productive. So your call account where you're going to earn interest. Then you've got your old mutual account and Allen Gray accounts where there's, of course, from an investment point of view, and then your building, which stays pretty stable. This is just a breakdown of your assets that you have. We can go to the next. I think that was it. So I don't know if there's any questions, and I'm sure that the financials have been circulated, and I don't know if anyone has a question that they'd like to ask.
Yeah, we have sent the financials out to the member base. Does anybody have a question? Okay, Beverly Summers put her hand up.
Thank you. Just one small question. What happened to the Allen Gray for 2023? Because it shows 2022, but not 2023. Thank you.
It's just a reallocation. So essentially in terms of where the funds lie. Bridget, you could correct me if I'm wrong. But
I think Erica pulled those together. I think the amount, unfortunately, has remained the same. But I was also looking at that thinking there's no pre or prior year, but I'm not certain why. We'll check in with Erica.
Thank you.
Sorry, babe. Thanks. Yeah, I also picked that up.
Okay, so it might just be a mistake on the table. Let's look into that and just get it fixed, and we can just send the right ones through to the members.
Just recirculate.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Etienne. Thank you. Maybe before you dash, just to say the ratification of the auditors. Thank you. Thanks, Etienne. I know you need to go though.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll hold on for that part, and then I'll when we finish with the finance part, I'll log off. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bridget, do you mind sharing a bit of detail around the ratification of the auditors?
So what we have to do, it's just par for course, is every year we have to reappoint the auditors at the so that has to be ratified. So I think if everybody's in agreement, we would like to continue with FTR Financial Services, and Etienne, we've been working together. I can't even think for how many years. I don't want to give my age away. So if somebody could first and second that approval, please. Just mention your name.
Wayne, yes.
Thanks, Wayne.
Robin.
And thanks, Robin. Thank you. So that's Ivor. Ivor, I think we just need to approve the finances. So
it's an approval of the annual financials.
Annual financial statements.
Yep.
Thank you, Ivor. And a second to that.
Wayne.
Thanks. Okay, perfect. Okay, so thank you very much, Etienne. That's all from your side. Then just one more thing before we move on to Jacques' presentation. Thanks, Etienne. The ratification of the Constitution, just to make mention, and obviously we just have to minute accordingly that we have not made any more amendments to our existing Constitution. If we do make amendments, we will notify the members accordingly. And that is all of that. And then Jacques, it's over to you to get going. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for doing the ratifications. Okay, so I'll jump into the 2023 annual report and just run you guys through it. We have about 45 minutes left, and it's a lot of slides, so please excuse me if I speak a bit fast. And if you have any questions, just put your name up or unmute your mic at any time. Is perfectly fine. I hope everybody can see the screen fully.
Yes, we can.
All good. Okay, perfect. So I'll start. I'll do a bit of a thank you before I hand over to Yurinda a bit later. But yeah, so in 2023, our office bearers were myself as president, Yurinda as vice president, Liesel as immediate past president, Ivor as our honorary secretary, and Erica as the honorary treasurer. So there's just some lovely photos, all of these members, which you can also find on the website. And then with regards to our council, we had Eurita, we had Stephanie as the co-chair of the Education Committee, Kutsa as the Education Officer, Beverly as the chairperson of the Scientific Committee, with Wayne co-chairing on the Scientific Committee. We had Charis there as the chairperson of the Social Committee. We had Safira as the chairperson of the Evening Lecture Committee, Marcel as the chairperson of the PR Committee, and Anton as the Cape Town chairperson. So big thank you to all of these people, to a large degree, the lifeblood of the, except for our member base. These are the people that really put in a lot of effort into the society. It's the people that really show up for all of the meetings and makes everything turn in the back, together with Bridget, of course, who is absolutely vital in absolutely everything that we do. So a big thank you to all of the members, and there's a few photos just so you can see their faces if any of the names are not familiar already. Okay. And a photo from last year. This was the physical AGM at the office, so we just took a quick photo with the new council. Okay. And then we'll go a bit deeper into this later. We've got one slide here, but I think we mention it a bit later again. But yeah, I mean, we're happy to announce, of course, that we won the bid to host the IFSSC International Congress in 2029. And you can see there on the photo, we've got a few South Africans that were present in Barcelona. And of course, Liesel, our immediate past president, that was actually presenting on behalf of us at the zone meeting, and she must have done an excellent job together with the people that put the presentation together as well, because we did win the bid. And yeah, very happy to announce that this was given to us for 2029. So yeah, that's good work on Coschem's side. So membership committee, I am very pleased to announce that when I just became president, the target was to reach 500 members, and over in our council meetings, you know, we were just kind of not getting to 500. And a year towards the end, we got to 520. So you can see from 2021 to 2023, over the last 2 years, that's clearly more than a 10% growth. So absolutely brilliant results. This really just points to the fact that our society is alive and well, flourishing, and we thank every single one of you for joining our program and joining our society. And I do hope and trust that all of you are getting the benefit from it that you intended to get when you joined. So we also have something called long-term membership, which is members that have been with the society for a continuous period of more than 30 years. So I've got those members on the screen. I'm not going to try and read all of them for the sake of not embarrassing myself, because I might mess up some of the surnames. But you can see that we've got 4 members that have been inducted as long-term members. And if I'm not mistaken, their names will go onto that board, which is at the Coschem office. Okay, Education Committee. So this was led by Kutsa. I'm not going to read all the members, but of course the Education Committee is very important to Coschem. It's a big part of our revenue stream. It's a very important part of the society to empower and you know, teach this course that's so important to the cosmetics industry in general. So those are the members. I think this photo was taken a while ago. So that's the Education Committee. I'm not sure if everybody, I don't think everybody is there, but those are some of the members. An overview of the year. So we had a total of 76 students, 48 for Module 1 and 28 for Module 2. And as most of you already know, the program covers a wide range of topics, including skincare, hair care, emulsions, surfactant technology, legislation, soap technology, etc. And it occurs over a period of 52 weeks, which is a year, of course. Course progress. So yeah, so the course gets evaluated through a number of ways: written exams, continuous assessments in the form of tutorials, as well as practical assessments. And we have a whole group of lecturers that assist us with teaching the course content. And I mean, these guys typically do an absolutely brilliant job, and we're always looking for new lecturers. So please do reach out to us if you are interested in any of the topics when we don't have a lecturer. But I think we're okay at the moment. The students made good progress in their studies and demonstrated a strong understanding of the course material. And of course, the lecturers provide feedback to ensure that the students live up to their full potential and ensure the course content remains relevant. So yeah, the lecturers put a lot of time into updating notes, into not just teaching the course, but also marking essays, marking exams, marking supplementary exams. So a big thank you to each and every one of the lecturers. And I'll mention it later as well, but this is why we have a lecturer appreciation day, because these guys do give their own time, and mostly in the evenings to make this happen. So a massive thank you from our side. So in terms of the prize giving function, which was on Monday evening, our Module 1 top student was Brittany van Eck. Okay, you can see a photo of her there. The Pharmaceutical and Cosmetic Review Essay Award, which was presented by Abby from PNC Review, and this was taken by, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Vishay Ramdav. I hope I'm not butchering that. So congratulations to you. These were the Module 1 students we had on site. Unfortunately, most of them are outside of Johannesburg, so it was a small group. Module 2 top student was Sunaina Inderman, and she also received the Norman Sannon Award for the Best Module 2 project. So a big congratulations to you if you're online. Okay, there's a photo of her and Joel. Okay, then the Sensi and Creativity Award for Module 2 went to Wade Merchant. Okay, so well done to you, Wade. And there's a photo of the Model 2 students that were present at the prize giving. So a nice big group of happy faces. So very well deserved to all of you. We all know it's a very challenging course. So very well done to everybody that made it. And yeah, congratulations. Just some photos of the evening. Always a beautiful venue. So as I mentioned earlier, we did this for the first time last year. We had a lecturer appreciation day, which is just an event where all the lecturers came together. It was led by Kutsai, gave a bit of a speech. I think I spoke a few words. And this was just to really show appreciation to all of our lecturers. This is something we haven't really done in the past, and we felt it was important to really honor these guys and to just tell them how appreciative we are that they're giving their own personal time to teach this course. And I mean, these lecturers really are experts in their fields. So whether you're teaching emulsion technology or surfactant technology or any of these subjects, it's normally people that have actual physical experience in the industry. So whoever's doing it normally knows what they're talking about. So thank you to each and every single lecturer at Coschem. There's a few photos of the day. It's a very nice catch-up session, I must say, at the Coschem office. Okay, and the success of the program overall, we can say it was a resounding success because the students did make good progress and we had a very high pass rate. The lecturers and the education committee were instrumental in the success of the program, providing guidance and support to ensure that students were able to achieve their full potential. So thank you very much thank you to the students, thank you to the lecturers, and thank you to the education committee, of course, for all the hard work that has gone into 2023. I mean, our program is the lifeblood, so we really do appreciate it. Okay, if there's any questions, just raise your hand, unmute your mic at any time. I'm just going to continue if there aren't any. So social committee, this was led by Charis. Thank you so much, Charis. And maybe I should just mention, because I forgot to say this when we were on the slide earlier for council, and when I'm seeing Charis now, I just wanted to mention If I'm not mistaken, Safira and Charis and Liesel has come to the end of their 3-year serving period on the council. So they'll be stepping off this year, which by no means mean that they won't be involved with Coschem anymore. In fact, we're about to set up a steering committee for the IFSSC Congress for 2029. And I mean, these are lovely people that put a lot of energy into the society. So we will be reaching out for you to get involved. But just a quick thank you from me for serving your time on the council. I appreciate each and every single one of you. So thank you so much. So Golf Day, Charis says it's a no-go because its second year in a row, the response was unfortunately poor. So the golf days have become quite expensive, and the 18 holes means it's a kind of a full day, and many companies are not really comfortable with having their employees out for a full day. So in the future, we might look at a chip and putt alternative. So we're looking at something else that might be a bit cheaper and that might also not take up the full day. So unfortunately, this event seems to be not really going forward. Then one that is doing quite successful is what used to be called the Women's Day event, and we've made it a bit more inclusive by calling it the Coschem Day. And for the last two or three times, we've had it at the Red Barn in Irene. And this is ultimately like a clay cafe where you can go and paint like a ceramic item. And people really seem to enjoy it. What I love about it is you just see everybody quieting down and focusing on painting your piece of ceramic like back like when you were a child. And just a very nice event. Everybody seems to enjoy it. And then we always choose a charity to donate the money to. So this year it was the National Center of Child Protection. So we had a huge number of amazing gifts that we donated to this charity. And one can only imagine how much this brightened the lives of all of these children. The event raised approximately 18,000 Rand, so big success. And yeah, I think everybody enjoys these days year after year because we always see very good attendance. And then, of course, the clay works are given to the people that make them, and that's just a little bit of a bonus on top of everything. Some photos of the last event, which was on the 17th of August. And these are some photos of the year-end luncheon that we had quite recently. Well, it feels like the other day, but it was the 16th of November. It was at Buiten Geluk in Fourways. Absolutely beautiful venue. The food was amazing. So really, really nice event, well attended, and it was just lovely to catch up with all of these familiar faces. Right, then we get to the scientific committee. So this was chaired by Beverly and was co-chaired by Wayne and supported by all of the names that can be seen on the screen. We had an extremely successful event. The topic or subject was Beauty Kaleidoscope, the New Dawn. And we had it on the 13th and 14th of September at the Focus Rooms. This was the first time we used this venue. And it was a beautiful modern venue, worked very nicely. We'll get to the positives and negatives later. There's only a few negatives, but ultimately it was a really, really nice venue and just a brilliant conference overall. So just a few photos of the venue itself. This was our first face-to-face conference since COVID. So it was quite exciting to see all the familiar faces at this venue in Lindbro Park. These were our sponsors. And thank you very much to all of you. You really support these events year after year, and we are extremely appreciative of that. So we had a very comprehensive program. We had 2020 abstracts that we received, and after the scoring process happened by the scientific panel, 20 of them were added to the, let me just admit quickly, there we go. 20 of them were added to the program. We had one poster and we had one interview session and one panel debate. Or panel discussion would be more appropriate. I don't know why it's not moving on. Okay, there we go. Okay, total number of delegates at the conference was 140, and we had 10 extra people joining for the cocktail event because we had 150 guests there. We had 11 exhibition stands with 22 extra people that were manning these stands. The registration income was 400,815. Total sponsorship was 153,300, and those were our total expenses, which means that we had a surplus of 206,450 rand. So really a good result there. These are the exhibitors that we had. Big thank you to all of you. And we do apologize that the space was not ideal, but we made the best of it. Feedback, lots of positive feedback. Good venue, enjoyed the networking, liked the inclusion of academia, enjoyable interview and panel debates, and amazing goodie bags. So I completely agree with that. And then we had a few negative ones as well. I mean, these were only 1 or 2 or 3 people that sent it to us, but either way, we'll mention it. The exhibition area was too small. I can agree with that. The pre-record sessions are not enjoyed. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a lot less interactive and a lot less kind of personal when you're just listening to a pre-recorded session. So these are things that we're going to keep in mind for the next conference, and we will try to minimize that as far as possible. Unfortunately, the problem is that everybody's budgets are being cut, and 2023 was a really difficult year. So we'll often have international speakers that intend on attending the conference, and then a few weeks before they'll let us know that they're not able to travel, and then we have to pre-record it. So some of these things are out of our hands, unfortunately, but we do note your comments on those negative points. Too many papers from the same company. Once again, as you saw, we received 22 and we chose 20. So we really only cut 2 out, and those would only be ones that were not relevant enough to the subject. So we didn't have too much control over that. So we really actually thank the suppliers or the people that posted those abstracts. And the panel discussion topics were not really appealing. So unfortunately, these topics do come from the attendees from the previous years. So we collect topics that people find interesting, and we use those topics the next year. So if you don't like the topics, please do submit topics that are interesting to you. Submit that to us, and we will use them in the following year. So please do send us your comments afterwards, and we will use them, we promise. So improvements, we will have a bigger exhibition space, inclusion of more non-tech papers, perhaps. We will try not to have any pre-recorded sessions, and we will try to have the presenters present. But like I said, things happen, unfortunately. Some photos there from the event, some of the exhibition stands. Okay. We had some live entertainment and lovely snacks. Okay, so all around, in my opinion, an amazing conference. So well done to everybody involved in organizing that. It takes a massive amount of work. So Bridget, Wayne, Beverly, and everybody else involved, a big thank you to all of you, and a big thank you to everybody that participated, that joined, that sent abstracts and papers. Please do so again this year. We do need you. Without you, we cannot do these events. Seminar committee was run by Urinda this year and supported by the names on the screen. And we had a very successful year, just firstly showing you what's coming up. So we actually have a formulation day, which is the very second one that we've ever done. So this is a new thing that we've started last year that went very successfully in the Coschem office, and that's why we decided to have it at a new venue this year. It's going to be at the Evonik offices. And it's absolutely an amazing event. So I really do hope that everybody that has booked is going to enjoy this on the 21st. And then you'll see the upcoming ones that we have planned for 2024 as well. The calendar does get sent out to the members beforehand, so you can plan accordingly in your calendar. So last year we had, like I said, the formulation day, and everybody's sitting there in their lab jackets, and I mean, we had issues. The power went off, and we had to use a lot of extension leads to get to the equipment. But either way, it worked out brilliantly. Everybody really enjoyed it and learned a lot. So very successful event indeed. Then we had the Supplier Day, which was at the Bryanston Country Club. So once again, a wonderful event where suppliers can showcase their raw materials and their formulations, and just brilliant for networking all around. And yeah, we had 17 raw material suppliers. And these were the exhibitors that you can see on the screen now. 17 exhibitors, and we had 160 delegates, which is just an absolutely amazing number. And we thank every one of you. I think I mentioned it a bit later in the presentation, but we are going to take both the Formulation Day as well as the Supplier Day, and we are going to duplicate that in KZN and in Cape Town as well, which is also new. We haven't done that before. So yeah, keep an eye on that so that we can bring these events to the coastal areas as well, and not just do it in Johannesburg. So you can see that in Coschem we are really growing, and we are really trying to extend our reach. And we can only do that with the help of our members. So thank you to each and one of you. Some more photos of the day. Just an absolutely lovely day. All right, and then we had this seminar, which was all around baby care. I'm not going to go through the details, but we had 80 delegates attending, updating us on what's happening in the world of baby care. Then we had ethnic skin and very curly hair types, which was also an amazing seminar on the 12th of July, and we had 60 delegates attending. And as you can see, an absolutely packed agenda with amazing speakers all around. Very good. Okay. So thank you, Yorinda. Then afternoon lecture committee, which was handled by Sathera, and then supported by the names on the screen. We might not in all cases have everybody that's supported, and often people show up in the meetings that's not even on the committee. So thank you for all of the input that we've received. We really do appreciate it. So these are the lectures we had. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them because we only have a few minutes left. But as you can see on the screen, we had quite a few talks. And, you know, the nice thing about these talks is in the seminars, we really focus on science and we focus on cosmetic chemistry. But in these lectures, we have the room and the flexibility to go outside of that scope. And we even touch things like mental health. And as we could see from the recent talk now this year as well, this is a basic need of all people. And as Coschem, we're happy that we can host these talks that can help people in their everyday lives, managing stress, getting better in leadership. As Coschem, the main focus is definitely on science, but we do agree that things like mental health is equally important. And this is why we host all kinds of talks to help our members and to give back some benefit to everybody. So the first one was sustainability trends by I think it was Julia, by Julia, and 51 people attended. Then we had a very nice kind of live demonstration by Tiffany, who's a very recent Coschem student. And she's a makeup artist. So yeah, she did hair and makeup at the event on the 18th of April. And yeah, very, very, very nice event. We had the camera on and she was showing everything live. And we definitely want to do more of this in 2024, perhaps. Then we had some trends, and you'll notice this is shortly after in cosmetics. So Chantal O'Brien took us through some hot topics that she learned from in cosmetics, and well attended by 91 people online. Then IDC with CTFA. So also a very nice event. I mean, CTFA always gives us good updates on regulatory matters. So, and these with this kind of talk is always free for Coschem members as well as CTFA members, and 89 people attended. So very good attendance there. And in vegan cosmetics, I mean, the world of natural and vegan and organic, I mean, this is always growing. It's always a hot topic. So as you can see, 86 people joined this talk by Elise from Alchem Labs. So yeah, very nice talk indeed. And then we had a sponsored event, which means that they did pay money because most of our events is only for the dissertation of scientific information. We don't use trade names. We only use INCI names. But there is an opportunity to have a paid event, which is sponsored. And in that case, it is more of a marketing type event. So Mulhausen took advantage of that. And we had this event at the Coschem office, which was attended by 48 people. And then we had the lecture by one of our very own exec and council members, Dr. Ivor Zwane, and on the 28th of November, which was all about entrepreneurship and starting your own business. So very interesting talk indeed. Right, then going to the PR committee, I remember Marcel was quite nervous about heading this up, but she did an absolutely amazing job, and supported by all of the people seen on the screen at the moment. And as you can see, we've got very good numbers of our social media accounts and quite steady growth as well, especially on LinkedIn. You can see a lot of growth there. And I mean, LinkedIn is pretty much Facebook for business, so it's a very nice platform as well. So good numbers that we have on our social media accounts, even on Instagram, growing slowly but steadily. So yeah, thank you very much to Marcel and the team who is always promoting our activities on these social media accounts. So just some highlights of things that were shared, the IFSCC webinar series. So this is a series that is done by the IFSCC, and every year we are allowed to, I think, have about 3 spots on this. So this is very nice because it really puts South Africa on the map. We have South African people, typically lecturers from our course, to present our course material. And this webinar series is run by Perry Romanowski, and it's just a very successful webinar series that is attended very well from right over the world. So international event, of course. Then university connections and talks and exhibitions. So forming relationships with universities to reach BEC students and students of all paths, to attend mini exhibitions, career guidance and presentations to students, and share invitations of my journey into the personal care industry, which I'll talk about more on some of the upcoming slides. And Professor Namrita offered invitations to the industry to join the ISC APSS Congress in 2024 in Cape Town. So these are the kind of things that we share on our social media. Then the My Journey into the Personal Care Industry is a very nice event because this is members of Coschem that has kind of gotten into a position in their career, and they kind of just explain how they got there and how you can get to this position through many different ways and many different coming from many different walks of life. So as you can see, we had 3 different sessions last year, which was very, very well attended. And we're going to continue doing this in 2024, just so we can tell those people that are trying to break into the industry, the students that just finished the course, that you can kind of get into this industry through a number of ways. And there's not just one specific way to break into the industry. And it's possible to do this from many different directions, whether it be academia or sales or any number of ways. And then with regards to the content, we obviously post all of our webinars, lecture evenings, conferences, all of that we post on LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as Instagram. And of course, we also have the assistance of Abby from P&C Review, where we also have the opportunity to post a lot of our exciting events and the feedback thereof in the Pharmaceutical and Cosmetic Review magazine. So thank you very much to P&C and to Abby, to New Media, for always offering us this opportunity, for capturing our events and writing wonderful editorials on it. We really appreciate it that we can work hand in hand. So thank you so much. Okay, so for 2024, we want to enlist more members on the PR committee, and we're going to have a new chair, which will be confirmed next year. We also want to further our reach through collaborations with the IFSCC, the CTFA, SAFI, as well as SACI. And then we also want to work a bit on the Coschem branding and the website. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it, but there's always room for improvement. There's always room to modernize things. So that's the kind of stuff we will be working on in 2024. Then what we call the chapters, which is our coastal areas. So Erika chaired the KZN chapter in 2023, and we will be having a new chapter chair in 2024, which we'll announce soon enough. So thank you very much to Erika. Yeah, this year. Fair enough, Wayne. So yeah, this will be the people on the screen assisted Erika. And thank you very much to all of you. This was a little meeting we had quite recently, because we just wanted to get more involvement on the KZN side, and we wanted to grow, wanted to duplicate what we did in Cape Town, with regards to forming a bit of a social committee in the coastal areas who can run slightly more independently from Johannesburg and kind of do their own thing on that side as well, so that everything is not that dependent on Johannesburg, and to be more inclusive to our whole member base. So there was a high tea in KZN on the 20th of July, which was at the Oyster Box in Umhlanga. And very, as Erika said, as a special day as it was, the hotel made a mix-up, and they actually booked the colony room free of charge. So I think they got a bit of an upgrade. And yeah, they absolutely liked it, and they were treated like kings and queens, like Erika put it here. And so 20 friends, colleagues just got together and enjoyed the treats and the drinks. And as you can see from the photos, it looked amazing, and everybody really seemed to enjoy their time at this very nice venue. And then, of course, the year-end luncheon, which we have in Joburg, Cape Town, and KZN. This one was at the 12 Oceans Hotel and Conference Center with a 3-course buffet meal and soft drinks at the Open Green Terrace Sky Bar. 90-degree sea view, rooms available for special price, should you decide to stay over. So that's an offer that was made. I'm not sure if anybody did actually stay over, but also, once again, seems like it was a very good event. And then Erika also just mentioned here that the supplier day in KZN will take place in July 2024. So I believe that's something we haven't done before. We've only had it in Johannesburg. So it's now going to be in July in KZN as well. So quite excited about this new event. And there you can see some photos from the year-end luncheon. Quite a few familiar faces who really just seem to enjoy the day. Then Anton Weber, he was the Cape Town chapter chair and really did a phenomenal job on increasing our activities in Cape Town, which is always a difficult thing to do. So as you can see, they had a wonderful venue for the year-end breakfast in Cape Town, which was at the Winchester Boutique Hotel. And seeing the photos, I was quite jealous myself, and I missed the Cape a little bit, I must say. But it really just seemed to be an amazing day. As you can see from the photos, almost looked like they were in a different country, but yeah, it was in the beautiful Cape Town. Lots of familiar faces there. Okay, and then I think we're drawing towards an end, so we just want to talk about the IFSSC for a moment. For those of you that don't know, the IFSSC is the International Federation of Societies of Cosmetic Chemists, and it's an international worldwide federation, of course, that various different cosmetic societies join into. So there's 51 societies that it represents, with more than 14,000 individuals and in 81 different countries. And of course, Coschem is affiliated with the IFSSC. And just to mention again that we won the bid for the Congress in 2029, which is an absolute honor, because it's not just any society that can host it. You have to. I think somebody muted me there. Maybe they tried to mute somebody else. Yeah, so it's an absolute honor for us, because you have to be a certain size and you have to have been around for a certain amount of years to be considered to host one of these events. So definitely a feather in our cap. So yeah, the IFSSC do hold webinars every 2 weeks. So please check the schedule and please attend those, especially when they're South African speakers. This is free for all Coschem members, and you can get the replay from the website. Right, and then with regards to the webinar series, I mentioned a bit about that earlier. We had Kirsten, Connie, and Sari, as well as Tony, that presented last year. Thank you very much to you, and we're hoping that we can repeat this in 2024, that we can have more speakers. I think we've got 2 commitments already. I think we're looking for a 3rd speaker, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're a lecturer or if you're somebody that knows a lot about a certain section of cosmetic chemistry, let us know, and we can consider having you on the platform. So then the IFSSC Congress. So the next one, well, the previous one was in Barcelona in 2023. And the next one will be in Brazil this year, 14 to 17 October. And you can go to the website for some more info. And then just, if we haven't mentioned it enough times yet, we're going to mention it again. We won the bid for the 2029 one. So keep the space, keep an eye on the space. We will be working on that for the next few years. So very excited. COSMED, for those of you that don't know, COSMED was just a archive of abstracts that all of us can access. Any Coschem members can actually access. It will be moved over to the IFSSC archives, but they're all still accessible. So just take note of that, and it's free for all of the members, so you can access these things at any time. There's also the IFSSC magazine, which is issued quarterly, and there's also a digital publication. So you can submit your articles to the names mentioned on the screen. And then there's also all kinds of prizes and competitions, like the Young Scientist one year that we're showing on the screen. So Young Scientist that is 40 years or younger, and there's some rules around that as well that you can see on the screen, that has published articles before, is eligible for the 2026 Henry Massa Award, and you would be able to win a trip to the 2026 Adelaide Congress. So just take note of that. If you're interested, reach out to us. We can send some more information regarding that. There's also the IFSCC Mason, okay, I can't pronounce all of that. I'll completely butcher it, but the Young Scientist Essay Prize, which is open to scientists 35 years old or younger. And you pretty much just have to write an essay answering a specific question, which you can see on that link. Let us know if you need us to send that link through to you. Deadline for the submission is the 2nd of June 2025, and this could win you a trip to the IFSSC 2025 Congress in Cannes. So if you're interested, let us know. I'm sure you will see some of the communication on email as well. Enter, and maybe you can win that trip. And that's it from my side. So I will be handing over to Jorinda shortly as the incoming new president of Coschem. We'll take some photos, which will be shown in the PNC review as well. And from my side, just thank you very much. It's been an absolute honor to serve as president for 2023. It's been both a challenge, but also an honor for this wonderful society that we all give so much time to, and but we get so much more back. And so just thank you to all the members. Thank you for everybody that worked with us, everybody that participated and attended and just put in all of your time. Just I'm so thankful. So thank you very much, everybody. It's been an absolute honor. So over to you, Jorinda, for the announcement of the new council. Yeah, what a wonderful year indeed. Jorinda, are you struggling on your side?
That is fine.
There we go.
Oh, good.
Yes,
There we go.
Okay,
Okay,
no
so
problem.
our new president, Jorinda.
Thank you, Jacques. Thank you for handing it over to me. I actually, just before I start, I just want to say thank you to you, Jacques. I think you were really, really an excellent president for Coschem. I think you've set the bar very high. I'm very excited to take over from you. But yeah, thank you for all the hard work you've put in. There's some new things that you have incorporated into Coschem. I know, like the Formulation Day was your idea, lecture appreciation event. I think even the president lunch as well, to thank those members as well. So thank you really for all the input that you have done. Obviously, it's a legacy that you do leave behind, but obviously I know you're going to be actively involved in the IFSCC 2029 Congress. So well done, Jacques.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And thank you very much for all the support. I mean, I couldn't have done any of that stuff without the support and without Bridget, of course. So yeah, thank you so much for the kind words.
Not a problem. Then I'm just going to announce the new council members, just so that everyone is aware. So the vice president for 2024 is going to be myself and Royan. So very excited to have her on board as well. And obviously in supporting us in the background as well. So well done to you, Marcel. We're very excited for you to be part of this, the Exco, and yeah, just to bring your new thoughts and ideas as well to the table. And then obviously, as Jacques mentioned, Okay, we had Safira, Charis, and who was the other one now, Jacques? That also Liesel, sorry, Liesel, that has stood off the council. So we have 3 new members that is actually joining us on council. We have Antalia Moodley, Kelleen David, and Leanne Roth. So well done to you guys for joining the council. We're very excited, and yeah, to see you join our meetings and also bring some of your ideas. So obviously, just to then conclude, the office bearers for 2024 will obviously be myself as president. Myself and Rowan will be vice president. Jacques Strydom will be immediate past president. Erika de Kock will be honorary treasurer. Ivor will be honorary secretary, as he's been doing as well. The council members will be Eurita Budram, Kelleen David, Beverly Gardner as chair in the scientific committee, Stephanie Gompel-Ratiane, Kutsai Gwaziri still as the education officer, Leanne Roth, and Talia Moodley. She will actually be chairing our KZN chapter now, so well done for that as well, and Talia, looking forward to that. We have Wayne also co-chairing on the scientific committee with Beverly. And then we also have Anton Weber for chairing the Cape Town chapter, as he's done last year as well. And then I think just before we close, I just wanted to mention just my focus as president for 2024 will definitely be to assist the chapters for KZN and Cape Town. As Jacques was mentioning, there's going to be some exciting things happening. I think, you know, in KZN, there's going to be a supplier day that's happening in June this year. We also have in Cape Town, the supplier day happening in July. We also have on the agenda Formulation Day, I think, which is coming up in August. So yes, my focus is definitely going to be just to give a helping hand there, assist where necessary. So yeah, that's my idea of it. And then obviously, we obviously will be continuing, doing planning for the steering committee on the IFSCC 2029 Congress. That will also be quite a focus. But yeah, that's everything from my side. But I just wanted to say I'm very excited to be the president, and I'm looking forward to the year ahead. Thank you.
Brilliant. Congratulations, Yorinda, from all of us. And yeah, well done to all the new members of the council. Really look forward to working with you. It's going to be an amazing year ahead. So just as we close off, I just wanted to check if there were any questions. You guys were very quiet during the session.
Thanks, Jacques. So, thanks, Yorinda, and welcome to everybody. Yeah, I was about to also say, are there any questions? As I said, it's really, when you look at it as a whole, the entire year, it's amazing. And again, it really just goes to, I mean, everybody's volunteering their time to this passionate society. So I'm very blessed to have all of you in my life. Thank you very much. Any questions? Last chance. It's very quiet.
That's a good sign.
Yes, thank you. And Jacques and Yorinda committee, there were 76 people online. We're sitting on 71. So definitely, I think it was the right call for the online option as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely evening, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.